What happened? We're on.
We're live.
What a great cue from our producer. He
You
goes,
said you're number one.
yeah. Hey, welcome to the Orange Blossom Social, everybody. Good morning. My name is Bobby Randall. I am your humble correspondent with headphones that don't work. Oh, I love these things. At some time, just mess with them. Love it. Anyway, good morning, everybody. And our audience says, good morning. Woo-hoo. Hey, a special good morning today to my friend Butch and Jan Heath, who are up in the great state of Michigan, in Midland, Michigan. Or no, they're in Saginaw, actually, listening in or watching in. Good morning to you all. And I hear, for all of you folks that are from up north, that it's going to be as hot up north as it is here. My hometown's supposed to be up in the 90s today. And Mike, you said in New Hampshire it might be 100 today?
This weekend they're going up to 100.
100 degrees, yeah. Well, that's that. What are they can't say global warming anymore, right? Because in Ouray, Colorado, where we're headed in a few days, it's 36 this morning. So the temperature is going to vary. Good morning, everybody. Apostle Paul, are you there? He's there.
I'm here. Good morning.
Captain Kurt is there, and Fast Eddie. Hey, Fast Eddie, I'm what's the word I'm looking for? Devastated this morning. You ever have something happen to you in the morning, happens to you, and now you know your whole day is ruined because this one particular thing happened, whatever it may be, Eddie?
Yeah.
You know what that is? Like,
Yeah.
You reach for the toilet paper and there's none. That sort of thing can ruin your whole day. Well, what happened today is I showed up with a really good attitude, and I always happy guy, smiling. I talked to one of the guys in Sawyer Brown all the way here today, just shooting the breeze about nothing, everything, talking about lots of stuff. But all the way here, I'm in a good mood. I tell them I love them, hang up in the parking lot, come in. I know that in that cabinet back there, there's a box of Pop-Tarts, right? And I know, well, yeah, because they're back there. They're right there by the peanut butter and the jelly. And so I know that today when I get here, I am going to have a Pop-Tart, okay? So I get here, and I open the cabinet, and there it is, the Pop-Tarts that I've waited for. And I pull them out of there. Who puts a damn empty box of Pop-Tarts back in the cabinet?
Not me. I
Who
don't eat
does that?
I don't eat Pop-Tarts.
Well, so I pull out the Pop-Tarts, and I open the top, and the whole box is empty.
Wow.
So I'm beyond, so the rest of my day is going to be right in the tank.
Yeah. One of them Pop-Tart days.
Ruined. Who puts empty boxes of anything back in the whatever? Well, I got to talk about this. We had a big show this weekend. Was anybody at the Simon & Garfunkel show? They were. They did real well. Just two of those guys went out there, man, and they held their own. So it's pretty tough to go out there with just two guys and two guitars and entertain the folks and sing and play. And they did an awesome job, and nice fellas as well. They were great guys. Here's what I want to tell you about, though, Eddie. Did you see, everybody, the #1 grossing concert ever in United States?
Yes.
So even outdid that chick, what's her name, Taylor Sniff? What's her name?
I don't know.
Is it, what is it? It's Swift, right? Taylor Swift? Her. And the coolest thing about this is I'm not trying to compare myself to George Strait in any way whatsoever, but the analogy, did you all see this? Did any of y'all see this?
No. Is it this
Let
for
me read
this
it to you.
year? The
Yeah,
gross
well, let me
for
just
this
read.
year?
All I want to do is read you one thing. And then it's the analogy of George Strait's concert. And the analogy was this. It's really cool. And I use this same analogy with my Friday Night Live. And this is the truth. People ask, because Friday Night Live is really successful here. For those of you who have been, every Friday Night Live sold out. And they go, why is it sold out? Here's the answer to Friday Night Live, and here's the answer to the George Strait concert. It said, to set the record straight, the attendance of the show, where am I? Oh, he said it was just one guy, George Strait, they said old guys, a bunch of old guys playing music with no tracks, no lip sync, no auto-tune, just a bunch of old guys playing their instruments, playing in a band, and playing together. And it says that they keep the human element at the forefront of the music. You don't need to be a spectacle. You just had to have great songs, played by great musicians, and let the music be the main thing. That's what we do on Friday Night Live. We try to find the best songs, and with no disrespect to any other bands or anybody else, but you know I beat these guys to play these songs exactly like the record. And why that is because you all, that's the music that you get. Now, I don't have the original lead singer. We don't, like George Strait does, because we try to cover a large amount of songs. But when you go out and you play a song exactly like the record, it does something to the people. It reaches out and touches them, because I can give you that George Strait everything, right? Exactly like the record, live with real musicians, not fake, nothing of that. And I think that's part of the success of Friday Night Live, is I make these guys, we play everything as close to or exactly like the record. So anybody can go out and play Boot Scootin' Boogie. Everybody knows that song. But when you play that song in the right key and you play it exactly like the record with exactly the same thing, it does something to the people. That's what I think. And the result of that for George Strait was the largest grossing concert ever in the United States. 110,000 tickets sold, Eddie. 110,000 tickets. You can take your rock shows and you can go fly a kite.
I was at a concert in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah, but now wait, you aren't crack cocaine.
No.
Oh, you weren't? Okay.
I was expecting to smell a lot of weed, because it was Canada had legalized it at that time, and it was 500,000 people at the Stones, and of course I went to see Rush, but it was that was a big one.
Well, then how can George Strait? How can they say that it's
probably because it was
in the U.S.
It's in the U.S., right?
Yeah,
Because
the
Canada,
record's
that's
for the U.S.
they're
Yeah.
whacked out in Canada, aren't they? Because they say,
man.
hey,
Yeah.
hey.
Well, Woodstock probably had more than that too, but you're talking about basically in
Hard-
one venue like that.
I think hard ticket sales is what they're saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Hard
yeah.
ticket sales. 110,000 people.
And that's because they were in Texas, and it's probably the biggest stadium in the world too. More
Yeah.
likely Texas Stadium. I
Well,
would think.
do you know the words to this song? When you cross that old Red River, Hoss, Bob Wills is still the king.
Oh,
Not anymore.
yeah.
I think old King George done bumped him out of the top.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great.
I'm going to play some George Strait songs this weekend on Friday night, y'all, just in case you're going to be here or if you want to tune in. But I've always tried to do that. I came from a band, most of the bands that I were in after I moved to Nashville were original bands. Now, what people don't know, but in Sawyer Brown, before Sawyer Brown became successful, we were just a bar band. We traveled around the country in an old beat-up school bus, and which is why I'm also a pretty good mechanic. And but back then, which was, I'm sorry, excuse me, in the early 80s, 1980, 81, that's what we had to play. We played in bars, and we had to play. So we'd get the Billboard magazine, we'd find the top 20 songs, and we would play them as close to the record as we could, even back then. And then I just think that makes, that's called a cover band. That's what people do. And that's exactly what the tribute bands that are so successful that come here, they do the same thing. They don't go out here and play. I'm sorry, y'all, excuse me. Mike, I got to stop drinking those things. I'm addicted to these coffee things, y'all, and they're terrible. They make me cough. Anyway, that's what tribute bands do. They take the music of the band. We have a great one coming this weekend. Meatloaf will be here this weekend. And so they make the music sound exactly like the record. You're going to win every time because that's what people like. Right, Eddie?
Yeah.
Right? So are you going to be here salivating all over yourself?
I'm going to start salivating today over that.
Oh, God,
that
really?
show. This is a lot of work for me because it's a Meatloaf was a production, so it's gonna be off the chart.
Yeah. Well,
It'll be. I don't think the Opry's seen anything like this before.
Are these guys going to burn the place down?
If they don't, I probably will. Yeah.
Well, I talked to them yesterday, and they're traveling, so I'm not going to be able to get everything done on my advance until later this afternoon. But they were in Denver, going somewhere. So these guys must work a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
they're
where
really, really good.
I'm not sure where they're from,
Yeah.
but they'll be on this Saturday. But it's good news, bad news, and I say this all the time about the Orange Blossom Opera, y'all. If you're interested in seeing a show, if you're listening, watching, whatever you're here in the audience, it doesn't matter if it's a a month or two out, you might want to get tickets now because God bless all you people, and it's the greatest problem in the whole world to have. But all these shows sell out fast. So Meatloaf is sold out already. Friday Night Live is sold out. Next weekend is the music of John Denver featuring our big buddy, Dr. Carl Bennett, and he too is sold out. So if you're interested in getting tickets to any of these shows, you want to jump on it right away. And tickets you can buy tickets right now, can't you, Eddie, all the way up to the end of the year, or no?
I think all the way up the October, Oktoberfest are on sale.
Well, the way they're selling, why the hell don't they put it up to like 2028? I would.
Yeah.
I'd be selling tickets to 10 years from now. Yeah. We're gonna have the Taylor Swift tribute in here. If they,
No.
the day they have
Yeah, I'll be absent that day.
Let's make a deal, Eddie. Okay, the day that the Taylor Swift tribute band comes here, what are we gonna do? Not show up? We're
No.
not coming.
No. Well, it'll be tracks
We'll
anyway.
boycott. We'll boycott.
Yeah.
Eddie and I are gonna boycott.
We're gonna be out front with signs.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this question just came in. It's not for you. It's not for Eddie, but it is for Mike.
Mike, yeah, Road Mike, yes.
Terry Puffer would like to know if you will be giving any updates on Bobby and Yu's. Bobby, how do you say that, Bobby? I don't
Well,
know.
you wouldn't say Bobby and Hughes.
Yeah, well,
It would be
y'all's
you and
Bobby
Bobby.
and you are-
y'all's motorcycle
you and
trip.
Bobby.
Well, we will probably do Facebook stuff, don't you reckon, Mike?
Yeah, we'll do some Facebook stuff. I usually on that trip, because I don't want to stop and type things, I usually do some Facebook Lives while we're stopped for gas and just update where we are and what we're doing, and that everybody's alive and well, so all the wives get to know and anybody else that's interested. So
Does
yeah.
your wife have a thing in your phone so she can track you? where
Oh
you're
yeah,
at?
yeah, all the time.
Right.
She can zap me with it.
Yeah, well, that's
But
what.
yes, we will
now,
be.
Now
giving
they
some
can do
updates
that. They
to
can.
Terry.
They can. Your wife can look at her phone. I didn't know this, but you can punch this button, and then you can see where your significant other is, and that's why. I told my wife, Mike, that you took my phone and went to lunch at Hooters. So that's not true. I've only been to one Hooters in my whole life. You know that one. My buddy, who passed away in Bay City, Michigan, Art Dorr, actually owned a Hooters in Bay City and forced me to go there one time. I went there, and I'm not a fan of that stuff.
The
So,
wings are good.
you know
Yeah.
what? Actually, here's the truth. I don't eat wings,
They
but
are.
the food was not good. I had a burger there. I remember that.
Oh, wow.
The burger was bad, and anyway.
Crab legs. I had late night crab legs after a gig. I would go there because they stayed open real late, and man,
I think most of them have gone.
they were great.
Well, I'll tell you something, Eddie. There's a really good joke that I'll let fly.
Yeah.
But
It was
I'm not
true,
a-
though. Their crab legs.
I'm
were
not a
really
fan of
good.
that place. That's not me.
On
Anyway.
another note,
On another note, who wants to know what?
Heather,
Do I have Art
Heather
Dorr's
says
phone number?
that we have shows on sale through the end of November, and the showcase and Friday Night Live through November on sale this Thursday.
Okay, so coming up this Thursday, folks, you can buy tickets all the way into November, and that means coming soon. I got to start working on this. Is the showcase, the Christmas show? What do y'all want to see for a Christmas show? Got any idea? Because I'm about out of ideas. I got an idea I'm working on, but just what do you typically have people? There's a question for everybody. What do typically you like to see in a Christmas show? And I'll try to make that happen. We're working on ideas for a Christmas show this year.
Hooters girls.
Yeah. That
Oh,
one.
here's Roger. We got.
Yeah, nice move. Nice. There's the boss turning around with his
He
hands.
literally was right behind you
let
Eddie,
him
when
in.
you said that. That was awesome.
Awesome timing,
He
Eddie.
missed a conversation.
Yeah, we're just glad he. Hey, Roger, we all said though, if you bring in a Taylor Swift tribute band, we're out of here. We're all out of here on that day. So
We're
Yep.
gonna
Yeah, I know.
stand out front with signs.
Yeah, that says repent. So you know, I'm not. I don't have anything against Taylor Swift. You know, a lot of people do, but I don't. I mean, that girl. Look how successful she is. And I will tell you this. I'm not. You know, not to get into politics or any of that, but she does a lot of nice things for people with her money. That's one thing. Because I know that in cities that she travels, she makes millions and millions of
Yeah,
dollars.
it's the songs. It's the man hater songs.
Well, I don't care anything about her songs because I don't listen to them. And I don't care anything about her, and I certainly don't care about her politics. But she does nice things for people and for the cities that she plays in. She gives money to the food. I heard she gave money to one of these cities for the food banks to fill up that food bank for years. And no matter what religion or politics or anything, that's just awesome, I think. So my hat's off to her for doing things like that. Like I said, come on, y'all. That's, I don't care if she's Democrat, Republican, Jewish, French. I don't care about any of that. I don't like her music. I don't listen to it. But good for her for being a good humanitarian. How about that, Eddie?
Yeah.
Okay?
I just got a text from Val saying that you would cough less as you drank some of that water we're sitting beside you.
Yeah. No, I'm hooked on these, what are they? They're Dunkin' Donut coffees, frozen coffees, and they're real creamy. And I know better than that because I don't. I take all kinds of sinus stuff. You all live in Florida? You all from here? How long you lived here? 4 years. 4 years? Do you have sinus problems? You don't have sinus problems? You're from Jersey? Yeah. What does that mean?
Forget about it.
Well, how does Jersey get you a pass? Forget about it.
No,
Yeah.
if I didn't have sinus problems in Jersey, I
Yeah, that's
probably wouldn't
right.
have
All
them
that pollution, they from
Yeah, I
they
guess.
can handle anything.
Well, when I first moved to Nashville, it took me, and I'm a singer, or I sing, it took me almost 5 years before myself cleared out. Now, I will say this is starting my 5th year living in Florida, or 3 years full-time, 2 years I commuted. It's the first year I haven't got real sick. Every year I've got really sick. Yeah, usually like just before Christmas, I do the Christmas show sound like Kermit the Frog. So this is the first year I haven't. And everybody's giving me every remedy in the book. Oh, do this, do that. None of that stuff works, Eddie. All right, Eddie. We always talk about your favorite show here at the Orange Blossom Opry. What might that be?
All-time favorite show
All
of the
time.
Opry.
Yep.
And the picture's right there beside you. It is Black Hawk with Henry Paul. I think a lot of people don't really realize what Henry Paul has done in his career. Black Hawk was a great country. It still is country music band. But his history of being with the Outlaws and Henry Paul band. That was a pretty cool show.
Yeah.
And you got stories with him that you can't tell on here.
Yeah, I've known old Henry a long time, and I call him up on the phone, but I'm afraid he'd answer the phone, and immediately we'd be blimped. Henry Paul gave me a nickname that stuck with me the whole time I was in Confederate Railroad. Can't tell you the nickname, but I joined Confederate Railroad, and I've known Henry for years, and he is. You're right. He's one of the most accomplished guys because all the stuff that he's done with the Henry Paul band. But the Outlaws, that band tours. You want to hire the Outlaws? They show up. If you want to hire Black Hawk, it's the same band. They just turn their drum head around on the drums.
Yeah.
One says Outlaws, the other side says Black Hawk, or individual thing. But anyway, so we're playing a show with Black Hawk, and I'd only been in the band about a week, and a couple of those guys in the band I didn't even know. The bass player and the drummer, I never knew those guys. I knew the lead singer. That's how I got the job. So we go out to see Henry Paul. I said, let's go down early and watch their sound check. So I go down there, and we're in this, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 seat auditorium. He sees me coming up the aisle, and he just screams out this name. And it included my first name, Bobby, and my last name, Randall, but had a few pronouns in the middle. And somehow that became my nickname. The whole time I was in, when I looked at all the identification tags on my stuff, I was in Confederate Railroad about 7 years. That was my ID, thanks to that hammerhead.
I wonder if they ever did a show where they had Black Hawk open up for the Outlaws. Wouldn't that be cool?
No, but they've done shows where they had Black Hawk one day and the Outlaws the next day.
I think that was so cool to have. Of course, that'd be a lot of singing for him because he does a lot of the vocals on both.
But that dude's, so Henry's, I think he's 3 years older than me. I think Henry must be pushing, well, if he's 3 years older than me, I guess Henry's about 48.
Yeah.
And that guy's in good shape, though. He takes care of himself. And he's got really an unusual voice. But, man, they were here. Black Hawk was here. But you know what? This is weird. When he was here, he said, hey, come out on the bus. So I go out on the bus. He said, I'm not feeling very good. And he said, I don't want to go in there. And he said, I don't feel very good. And so he stayed away from everybody.
Yeah.
And came in, sang, did his show. I sat on the bus and talked to him half the day. And the rascal ended up having COVID. But I didn't get it. Anyway, let's talk about a couple of other things that are coming up here at the Orange Blossom Opry. First of all, our vacation, and Mike and I will do our best. Y'all need to follow us on Facebook because I'll keep up. What I generally do, Mike, is at the end of the day, well, when we're into we get in the hotel, I take a couple pictures and tell you where we are and tell you what's going on, where we are, that sort of thing. I don't do much live stuff going down the road. But then when we come back, we have the local guy, Jay Ellen, who will be here on the 24th. But here's what I look forward to.
27th.
Country music, y'all. Doug Stone, Daryl Worley, John Barry, Wade Hayes, Dion Pride, and Ty Herndon, all coming this summer, y'all. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. And you know, we have it's weird because we have connections with all these guys. I knew old Daryl Worley before he got his record deal, and we used to hang around in town together and publishing things. And we talk about where to buy jeans because we wore the same size jeans, 34 waist and 40 length.
Is he taller than you? He's a tall guy.
No, you know what? I have a picture to prove
I remember.
No, you know what? I have to look at this picture. That rascal might be taller.
Yeah,
than
he's
me.
tall.
I'll tell you who was taller than me too that came here was Ray Benson. You know Ray Benson,
Yeah.
the lead singer in
Sleep at the Wheel.
Asleep at the Wheel. Yeah, he was taller than me. But yeah, I think Worley might be. So that make him about 6'6". If anybody knows how tall he is, want me to call him? I got his number here. Hey, I'll tell you. He'd answer the phone something too that would be, what? You know, you got to be careful with your buddies because when you call them up like that, unless you're calling your preacher. Let's see. Anyway, so that's going on this summer, y'all, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll have a bunch of country music going on here.
George Strait tribute coming. Kenny Rogers tribute.
Yeah, the George Strait country guy.
Toby Keith.
What's his name? Howard Howard Decker. That's who it is. He does George Strait. Y'all need to come see that. It'll be awesome because that rascal kind of looks like George Strait. You know, he does. So you think those guys that are tribute bands, we've had this question before, you think they wake up in the morning and they look at themselves and they go, you know what, man, I look like so-and-so, and I think I'm going to do a tribute. Do you think they do that? You do? And so with that, ma'am, thought in mind, when Eddie wakes up in the morning and looks at himself in the mirror, he says, you know, who do you think Eddie would be? Come on now.
I don't know. Eddie.
Oh, Eddie. No, I don't know.
And more when you wake up in the morning, that's scary.
Yeah. Well, you want to know what my hair looks like when I wake up in the morning? Right there. I get up and drive my Jeep here, and that's it. Have you ever been, I got to tell you a story about, I've been mistaken a couple times for people, and this is a fun story, and they're both true. Now, one was in New York, and I had shaved. I didn't have a beard, and I guess my hair is still pretty long, but my hair was this long, I guess, or about that long. My hair's always been long. Anyway, in New York, a lady mistook me for Howard Stern once. Said, "Are you Howard Stern?" And I said, "No." But here's the best story of all, y'all. This is I was in Confederate Railroad, and we're on the bus. So when you're in those tour bands like that, you leave the venue, like you finish up here, and especially when you're in a band like that, not a tribute band, but a band that just works all the time. And those guys work a lot too, but you go from town to town to town to town. So you try to leave the venue, which is here, the Orange Blossom Opry. You try to have your bus driver drive all night, and he drives to the next hotel. So that's really what the bus drivers do, drive from hotel to hotel to hotel. And you get into the hotel depending upon how far it is. Well, this time we got into Wichita, Kansas. Into Wichita, Kansas. And we pull into our bus at the Holiday Inn, and across the street's a Walmart. And I had to get something. I don't know what it was, but you know, you get short on things, just toothpaste and stuff like that if you're out on the road. So I crawl out of my bunk. I look about like this, and I walk over to the Walmart. And I see this lady staring at me and looking at me and looking around at me, and I'm going, oh gosh, you know, I look terrible. So I get up to the checkout. I've only got a few things, and she goes, oh my God. She said, could I have my picture made with you? And I went, of course, of course you can. I said, I'll meet you outside, so we're not bothering people here at Walmart. So she's talking to her husband, telling him to go to the car and get the camera or phone or whatever it was. Just go out, and yapping at him. Okay, so he goes. I walk out. Here he comes walking up there, and here she is, and here I am looking about like this. I slept in my clothes or whatever I slept in, and she grabs a hold of me, and she's yelling at her husband, honey, make sure you get this picture right. And he's getting the camera there. She grabs a hold of me, yanks me up there like that. And now she can see the tour bus across the street. And she's got me pegged. She puts her arm around me, and she looks up at me right before she takes the picture, and she goes, "You are Ronnie Dunn, right?" All right, Stan.
Sure.
Yeah. I said, "Yep, that's what I said." I said, "That I am, but just don't ask me to sing." No, I told her I was not Ronnie Dunn, but she took the picture anyway. So it was one of those things where there were multiple bands in town, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, you ever been mistaken for anybody, Eddie?
Not sure.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever signed any autograph that was you're not supposed to? Because
No, I never did that.
I've done that. I've done when a person come up and asked me because somebody else had taken my picture and knew who I was. Somebody else came up there and said, "Well, you must be somebody famous. Can I have your autograph?" And I said, "Of course." And I signed. I remember it, yeah, like it was yesterday. I signed Bobby Kennedy. So that's a good autograph to have because
Yeah, it might be worth
he's
money.
dead and was probably dead for a while by that time as well. Anyway, a bunch of other things going on here later on in the summer. I can't believe this. I've seen the video of this, y'all. Elton John, Rocket Man, Elton John tribute coming here. 2 shows on that day, and that ought to be awesome.
I think all of those are going to be 2 shows. All those ones in the fall.
You know why that is? They sell out.
Yeah.
They all sell out.
Yeah.
So if you want to come and see somebody, I got a buddy that still plays for Elton John. Kim Bullard is the piano player, a dear friend of mine. I've known for years. I said, "Man, you know, how much bigger a person can you work for than Elton John, right?" I said, "You know, how's that?" He said that Elton John is awesome to work for. He said he's like family. He takes care of his people. Those guys they've been working for him for a long time, and said that he's awesome. So let's see. An evening with Kenny Rogers. That's always interesting for me, Eddie.
Yeah. Sure is.
I always tell this story. When Barry Gibb, one day we saw Barry Gibb. I said, "That's Barry Gibb. He's a big guy, Bee Gees. What's he doing out here?" And of course, you all know that he wrote that big song for Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. So I had the opportunity to watch them rehearse that song during the day, and we were playing, you know, like 20,000 seat arenas at that time. My first date that I started with Kenny Rogers was at the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington, with our little band. And we got to watch them. So I'd go out there every night that we didn't have to leave early and watch them play Islands in the Stream and think, this is right when the record was on the charts and going up. And I just remember saying, man, I'm watching a part of the coolest part of history. So I got to know Kenny really well. He was a fine man and a friend, and everything that's ever happened to me, even here, getting to here, I credit Kenny Rogers, because if he would have not taken our little band under his wing at the beginning, who knows what would happen. But he literally took us off of Star Search, and I went from playing these bars where most of y'all probably wouldn't go in, and or if you did, you wouldn't tell anybody. But anyway, he went from playing those bars to 20,000 people, just like that, overnight, because of Star Search and Kenny Rogers. So I always, give credit to him for all that stuff. Toby Keith tribute band's going to be here. That ought to be cool. I got stories about him too, I guess. Got stories about everybody. Any questions? If we get questions from some of you folks
we
watching.
have one from Joe. Speaking
Joe.
of autographs,
Where's Joe? How's Joe? Where's Joe, Apostle?
It doesn't say.
All right, Joe. All right, what's Joe got? What's
He's
Joe
like,
have?
speaking of autographs, have you or would you sign an instrument?
Yep, I've signed a lot of instruments over my day, and I used to do this thing in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and in Jackson Hole. And my job, I went out there every year, and we had this big celebrity thing, and we raised money for these people with head injuries. And my job, it was all these Hollywood guys, and me. And my job was to get a guitar and get it signed by somebody. So I knew everybody. So every year I'd take a guitar out there. I did it for years. I took Taylor Swift. I got Britney Spears' autograph on a guitar. Toby Keith, Garth Brooks, Tim McGraw, all these guys. So one year I'm out there, and this guy, the lady whose name you may know who Connie Stevens is. Well, anyway, she was the one that put it on. She said, "Bobby, what about if we auction off one of your guitars?" And I'm going, So, but I happened to be playing in a band that day with Kim Bullard, who was the piano player for Elton John. Help me, Eddie. The drummer, wears his hat backwards. Chad Smith.
Yeah.
Who's he play with? I can't think
Red
of it.
Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili
and
Peppers.
Chicken Foot.
Well, he's in a band
with
called the
Hagar.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's him, Kim Bullard, the bass player that played for somebody else, I can't remember. Anyway, and this other dude you may have known by the name of Don Feldner. So we're all playing together, and Feldner and I signed that guitar, and it went for a very large amount of money.
Nice.
So yeah, and I still do that a lot here at the Orange Blossom Opry. One of the coolest things, a lot of times we put guitars back there, and we get the stars to sign them when they come in here, and then we take the guitars and auction them off for money for drugs. Just seeing if y'all are paying attention. For money for different charities around the country and everything. Where are you folks from back there? Where?
Michigan.
Michigan. Whereabouts? You have to speak a little louder. Mike, Mike's our roving guy that takes the microphone because he knows I can't hear anything. So he runs around and there you go. Good morning. Where are you all from?
Luddington.
Oh, Luddington. Yeah, I know where that is. It's
Straight across from you.
yeah, straight across. It's kind of down the west coast, right?
Yeah, right in the middle, right
Yeah.
on the point.
Is Luddington where the ship, the old boat that goes across is, or
Yes.
is that where it is?
Yes,
What's the name of that old ship?
the Badger.
The Badger, yeah, the Badger. That's what we should do sometime, Mike. My buddy and I rode the Badger. My sister lives in Manistee. My older sister lives in Manistee. She worked for years up there as a prison guard, and her and her husband both. And so we figured since we had so much family in there, we might as well get family to work in there. But we went to her house and stayed at her house in Manistee, and then took the Badger across on our motorcycles and went across there. So what are you doing here in Florida?
My parents decided to retire. They owned 2 drugstores and had a chance to sell them and said, we're moving.
So they've sold the drugstores, so
They've
there's
sold the
nothing laying
drugstores.
around that could be helpful to us.
Yep.
Did you go through all the inventory when they sold it? My wife's a pharmacist, so
Yeah, so was my dad.
really awesome. And what about you, ma'am?
I'm from Leesburg. Well,
I'm sorry, you have to talk in there. I can't hear you.
I'm from Florida.
Oh, you're a Floridian? Wait a minute, born here?
Born
You have
and raised.
papers?
Yes.
You are?
Never lived outside of Florida.
Have you ever been outside of Florida?
Yes.
Oh, you have. Just never lived outside. And you live here in where?
Leesburg.
Leesburg. All right. I went to Leesburg yesterday. I don't live down there, but you know where Wolfie's is? I drive there once in a while because they've got this French toast that's to die for. Do you know what it is? They make French toast with some kind of cereal on it, and it's horrible. It should come with a stint and a free ticket to the hospital, but it's awesome. So anyway, I was there. Well, thank you. And thank you for coming out today. We appreciate. Hope you all have fun. Now, you still live in Michigan, or no? You moved down here.
Moved
You're-
down here in 1962.
Okay. Oh, so you've been here a while.
Yeah. And I have sinus problems.
Oh, you still do?
Yeah.
Oh Lord, yeah, I have them bad. So anyway, well, welcome. Thank you for. Have you been to the Orange Blossom Opry? To the shows here?
Yeah, lots.
Well, yeah. Are you getting tired of us, or you still keep coming back?
Keep coming back.
All right. Well, that's the idea of the whole thing. Well, thank you. And
Today's her birthday.
oh, today's your birthday? Really? All right, guys, ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We don't know your name. What is it?
Leesburg.
Leesburg.
Sue.
Sue from Leesburg.
What is it, Sue?
Sue.
Sue from Leesburg. Big finish. Happy birthday
to
to. Might be better, Eddie, if you don't sing. All right. Well, I just wanted them to recognize the tune. You know, I mean, if you could somehow find the damn melody, Eddie, it's Happy Birthday.
Nah, I'm a soloist. I do the I lead. I don't follow. Yeah.
I wonder who wrote Happy Birthday. There's a question for you.
Yeah.
Bobby, we got 2 questions for
All
you.
right, bring them on, Captain Kurt.
The first one is from Richard. He wants to know, your mother was a comedian. What is her name?
My mom is a comedian. Was, yes. My mom is still alive, but she just doesn't work anymore. Her name was Aunt Lizzie. That's who she went by. And my mother wrote all of her own jokes. I guess that's where I get my sense of humor from. She wrote all of her own jokes and always told me, if you're going to do jokes, don't steal jokes. And if you see a joke that you want to use, try to rewrite it to make it yours. And she also played guitar and sang real well as well. So, and my mom on July 25th will be 92. So she's still kicking around, and I guess she's going to go out west. I was hoping that she'd be out there when we were there, but she'll be a definite. What's the next question?
I'm gonna.
What is the deal with pitching papers on stage
Yeah.
at each other?
Yeah.
Well, as the boss just all of a sudden picked up his head, goes, I've been wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing to it. Just, you're having a good time. Sometimes you just like to take the paper and wad it up like this and then just throw it at somebody. And that's, it's a bit, maybe it's a bit of a stress relief. You ever do that? Because, it's pretty harmless, but you just throw stuff. Now I just threw the schedule of everybody coming here at this guy. But there's nothing to it, just kind of fun, throwing papers across the paper. Pretty immature. Nobody said at my age that I had to grow up. I've never been accused of really being an adult or real mature, so that's what that is.
Yeah.
Throw it back.
Then you can get thrown back at you.
Yeah, and
There
people
you go.
throw them back. So
Yeah.
it's harmless, I guess. Let's see. Anyway, so Eddie, do you have Doug Stone's coming. We didn't talk about Doug. Doug Stone's
Yeah.
going to be here.
Yeah.
Old Georgia boy. I'd be better off in a pine box. Y'all know who who Doug Stone is? You're from Jersey. I wouldn't expect you to. No. You should know who Neil Diamond is. Oh, you're from the Villages? Yeah, but I mean, the people in the Villages, they listen to country music, don't they? Yeah, okay. And where are you all from? The Villages? Where are you? I mistook that guy for a woman this morning. It's terrible. But he's got big old cool hair, man. So when I just looked out there, it looked like two girls, but it's not. Whereabouts are you originally from? Because nobody was born in the Villages.
Originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
That's Eddie's old stomping ground.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah, what does that
Yeah.
mean?
Erie is a little different than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had a weird way of saying something. I forget what it was. It wasn't yuns. It was something like I don't like Pittsburgh because too many one-way streets. You always got lost in Pittsburgh.
Well, now Eddie, you just PO'd that lady.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
telling her to
Well,
home.
they've been in Erie. If they're from Pittsburgh, they've been down to Erie.
Are you
lot
both
of-
from? Are you both from Pennsylvania? You are. He's not saying much. Okay, is he okay?
Yeah, but we drove around for the last 25 years, and then we found the Villages.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. The Village has been rocking in here because when I first started here, I didn't see that many. I know it's Village people. I don't mean it like that, but people from the Villages. There'd be a handful of them in here. I'd say, how many people are from the Villages? There'd be, a few handful. Now it's packed with people from the Villages.
Yeah.
So.
Erie and Pittsburgh are fixing to get 100-degree heat that my dad's talking about. They're going to hibernate for a week up there.
Oh, it's going to get that hot up there too.
Yes, yeah. He's my dad's retired, but he still goes out and mows grass and does stuff in a tiny little town. But I said, you need to stay in.
I mow the grass here, and I don't start till about 7:30 at night. I go out there because I don't know. I still can't get with it. My wife goes out and in the middle of that stuff and just it's like I said, I can't stay out here anymore. I have to go in and lay down.
Yeah, 80 is brutal for them up there. 100 is going to be unheard of for them.
Although, Mike, if you haven't looked, I put all the cities when we go on our motorcycle trip. I put all the cities on our map of where we're going so I can check out the weather. And we're still a couple weeks out, but just to tell you what we're in for. We're going to spend a night in Ouray, Colorado, and this morning in Ouray, Colorado, it was 35 degrees. But they were also going to go, within 2 days later, we're going to go to Moab, Utah, and in Moab, it's 97 there. So it's going to be a little
That'll mess with the bikes going from 30 to 90.
Yeah, I just ride it out. It kind of chokes a little bit sometimes when
Yeah.
you get up there, and but it's all good. Our brother Nathan, everybody knows Nathan Smith, our sound man, rode his bike up to Nashville yesterday and called me last night from Cookville, and is riding back today. I said, "What are you doing, man? We're going to go 5,000 miles." And then he said, "I'm trying to get my butt used to the saddle." So
Here's a question from Sherry Young.
Yep, bring in those questions. We're good. I
What
look
is
back there. The
Bobby's-
apostle's gone. Did he fall over backwards? Is he okay?
He had to go to the little boy's room.
Oh, he did? Okay. Well, not him. He needs to go to the big
He
boys'
fell
room.
asleep.
Okay, what now? Yeah, fell asleep.
Sherry's question is, what is Bobby's favorite Pop-Tart?
I can tell you, the strawberry or blueberry without frosting.
No way.
No,
You don't
without
put
a
the
doubt.
icing on there?
No, no. Let me tell you what happened with that icing one time. You know, those Pop-Tarts get hot, and I like to get my Pop-Tarts so they're brown around the edge, so they're almost burnt. You know, they're like, I just like that. I like bacon crispy. Anyway.
Here's another one from.
So I grabbed it, and that frosting on there burnt my thumb. I grabbed it, and it was stuck on there just like, I mean, smoking hot. Burned my thumb. Can't get it off. So to heck with that. Yes, sir.
Here's one from Anita. She says, "I enjoy Friday Night Live. Always a fun time. Why don't you like polka music?
Why don't I like what?
Lord.
Polka.
Polka. There's an L
Only
in it.
Pittsburgh people.
Never
like
forget that.
polkas.
It's not polka. There's an L in it. It's polka.
It's Pennsylvania. I don't think it was Pittsburgh. I think it was down middle state where that came from.
Can you tell me or sing
No.
the Pennsylvania polka?
No. Frankie
nah,
Yankovic.
Nah, 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 nah.
Roll
nah.
out the
Now, roll out the
barrel.
barrel is not the Pennsylvania polka.
Same difference.
Polkas
Polka's
are big up
polka.
north. So she must be from up north. Polkas aren't big here in Florida, are they?
Jimmy Sturr's coming in 2025.
Who's that?
Jimmy Sturr.
Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, a polka. Yeah, we got a
Are
polka.
you serious?
A polka show. What day is that,
All right,
Roger?
we got to get the signs ready.
What date is that? You don't
Protest
know?
signs.
Hey,
Are you really serious? You gonna
We're
do
having
that?
a polka. Hey, let me tell you something, y'all. Let's talk about polka music for a minute, because
Lord.
that's the only thing I know about is polka. Some of those polka, there's an L in there. Some of those polka bands are awesome, and when you get those guys with the horn section, and some of those drummers, because polka music was real big. Every Sunday morning at my house when I was a kid, to the time I was growing up, to the time I left the house. Sunday morning, we played polkas on the radio, and we went to church. That's what's happened. So I associate polkas with Catholic Church, and that's why I don't listen to either. No. But real good polka music, real good stuff, you know, I mean, the good stuff, those guys are awesome musicians. And some of those guys, you know, you got to have your chops to play in a
I wonder
really
if
good polka.
people graduated from polkas into bluegrass. We're talking about real good musicians.
Yeah.
I'll bet they probably did.
No.
There's probably people can play both.
No, it's the difference between polka and bluegrass music is as much different as George Strait and Rush. There is no timing, no the polka music. I mean, how many, Eddie, so let me ask you a question. How many damn accordion players have you all seen in a bluegrass band?
No, but I mean, but it's still, you're talking about talented musicians.
No,
and that's
no,
what flashed me, because bluegrass musicians are amazing. They,
You want to see, to me, I agree with you, Eddie,
I'm
on
not
that.
listening to no
No,
polka.
I'm agreeing with you. That the best pickers are, you go look at those kids in bluegrass music.
Yeah.
Because it's the kids that play rock and roll, and they get their guitar, they plug it into all these effects, they got all these tricks. Those bluegrass players have nothing but their instrument. Flat top guitars and all this stuff. Those kids at 12, 14, 15 years old are amazing. And I've always said, if you want to find the best players, go to bluegrass music, because those boys can no offense, it's called flat picking. Do you know why it's called flat picking, Eddie?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you did. Because it's played with a flat pick, and it's up, down, and some of those. You ever see that kid that plays with Ricky Skaggs?
Oh, yeah.
He's from Utah, and that dude's like just, I don't know. how
Fastest
I don't know how
people
people play
acoustic
like
player
that.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's-
So
he's
those,
really
I think
amazing.
that's where the best musicians come from. Now we're going to have polka music here. Is it going to be on a Sunday, Roger? You got to have polka music on a Sunday.
He's looking.
He's looking. Can't have polka music on Friday night. It was always Sunday afternoon.
Whose idea was that?
Yeah, well, there were big bands when I was a kid. Frankie Yankovic and the Yanks were huge. A bunch of those guys were awesome. So, and I'm like with polka music, I can listen to a little bit of it. You know, after probably 30 minutes of it, it becomes a bit, to me, a bit redundant, similar to.
Jimmy Sturr will be here February 28th, 2025.
What day of the week is that, Captain?
That's a
Oh, Friday. Well, it looks like my ass is out of here. on
Yeah.
Friday night. All right.
We're going to be doing signs out front. you
Bumped
and
out,
me.
bumped
We're
out
gonna
for the
be like-
polka. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna have to take some.
Two shows.
Two shows. Oh
on
boy.
a Friday? Nah, we can't do that.
Gonna
Two
have to
shows
take
on
some
a
chairs out to make room for people to dance.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know how you're going to keep polka people sitting in their chairs,
Yeah.
Roger, because those people, that's all part of polka music.
No,
is
they'll
getting
be
up. And,
sleeping.
can
They'll
you
be like-
Can you polka, Eddie?
No.
I can.
I used to have to play polkas at weddings, and that was enough for me.
I can dance the
I have
polka.
not listened to a polka song.
I can't do that. You know, the
20
real polka people, my uncle, I should call him on the phone.
Polka and square dance
can
kind
do
of
the
the
hop.
same deal, right?
Nope. Polka's a shuffle thing, and some of those guys can do that hop, and I can't. But I can do the shuffle, and I can do the spins and the fast polka, but I can't. You know, they do that da-da-da-da, right on time. They can hop with it. I can't do that. That's the real McCoy thing. So, did you hear about the guy that left his accordion in the car, in the parking lot, and they broke into his car?
No.
Yeah, and he came back, and there was 10 more accordions in there.
Yeah, I had an aunt who played accordion. That's probably why I don't like polkas.
Yeah, well, let me tell you about this. Hey, you guys are all old enough to remember. I can't remember that dude's name, Captain. Somebody will look it up on the internet. But that dude that used to play accordion on the Lawrence Welk show, you guys, everybody that's watching, screaming out his name because I can't think of it. But that guy was amazing because your right-handed, you know, the left hand's just chords, so it's like similar to the piano. So the left hand's not that hard because that's just your chords, A, D, blah, blah, blah. But the right hand's all your melody. And you'll go to watch some of those old Lawrence Welk shows sometime. That guy, whoever his name was crazy good on the accordion. I also saw one day I was walking down, what's the main street in New Orleans? Not Beale Street.
Bourbon?
Bourbon Street, yeah. And went in one of those bars. There's some black guy in there playing not a squeeze box, which is different, playing a full-blown harmonica through a Marshall.
Wow.
Marshall, which is a rock and roll.
Yeah, I could probably listen
and
to that.
just ripping it. I'm just looking at that guy, and it's like, oh my God, he was crazy playing the stuff. So,
Hey, Bobby, it's Myron Florin.
hello. Oh, his name was Myron. What? Yeah, Myron
Oh,
was his
yeah,
first name.
yeah.
That's right, Myron.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And now, for sure for you, we have a very good man
Yeah.
here because Lawrence was he from North Dakota? He had that real North Dakota accent, eh? And he did well. The old Lawrence Welk with that northern accent he had. Not as well as the My Pillow guy, but he did pretty well.
Roger, did you watch Lawrence Welk when you were growing up?
No, Roger's too young. Yeah, I was going to say,
man.
if you watched it, it was with your parents. Because
Yeah.
mine was with my grandpa.
That would force me to go do homework.
No, my grandma and grandpa used to watch Lawrence Welk. And my mom, who's blind, there it is right there, man.
Oh,
Yeah, that's. I'm telling you though, whether you like that music or not, to me as a musician person, I can dislike the music that you play, but I can appreciate the
musicianship. Yeah, yeah, I get that. I'm just not
the
going to
people
listen
are
to
playing.
it.
Yeah, so I don't want to really play accordion, and I played violin in high school. That's why
Yeah.
I never had a girlfriend. But accordion would have been worse. But anyway. You got to appreciate the musicianship of the level of
Yeah.
that those guys
Yeah,
can
you
play.
can appreciate it, just don't listen to it.
Man, you play really good, but you know what? I think your music sucks.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. Well, I may have to even come listen to a little bit of that, Roger. But Roger's too young. I can't remember when. I don't even know. I guess Lawrence Welk was in color eventually.
All
but I
right,
think
we'll see a bet and see if we sell those out.
So
the polka thing?
No way.
I'll bet you right now, Eddie. I'll bet you $100. How many shows are there, Roger? All right, you back me on this bet, Roger. You spot me the 100 if I lose it. If all they got to do is, it's not a big Southern thing. You know, the polka music is not a Southern thing, but in the North, because that's where a lot of the Polish people came from up there. They're still, hell, I went to school with kids that had a name that long. Jazuski, Karbonowski, Hauskowski. Those are Jazowski, people that I knew. So there was a lot of Polish people that are up north. And so when's it in February?
February 28th.
Yeah, that's right when the heart of the snowbird season here.
Yep. And that's what I want to remind Eddie. You know, we bring shows in here that maybe not necessarily you like,
Right.
Yeah.
and
Polka.
But
We're
we have-
talking. You might as well. Polka.
we are a all music venue.
Yes.
The only music I'll never book here is grunge music.
Well, how about rap? Could I get that on there?
No.
No rap.
No rap. No.
We
Taylor
already got.
Swift.
We have rap already in the new country stuff, and I don't like that either. So.
Yeah, that's all BS. Well, I'm telling you right now. So, Roger, are you with me on this? Roger and I, we'll go $50 a piece. Come on, you and me.
Sure.
Put your money up. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So Roger and I 50 him, 50 me, 100 to you. So if this place doesn't sell out, we'll give you.
Well, it's in February. You know,
Well, now, yeah, you
we
said-
sell everything out in February.
No, look at it back
I
up.
still don't
So,
see it.
so you
I
don't
don't
think
see it.
you don't think we have enough polka-liking
Oh,
people in
nope.
Florida?
Or Lawrence Welk
in
people.
February.
No way.
Not in Florida, not Floridian people, and I'm not
No,
picking
that
on
are-
Florida.
that are here
We
in
have a lot of
February.
Northerners that live here now.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's sure.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So,
They've
Eddie,
been
on top of
clamoring
that,
for this.
Oh, I think it'll be huge. I think it'll be huge. Oh, you got another 50. This will cost you. If this place sells out, Eddie, your ass is gonna be broke. You're gonna have any money. Yeah, no, I think a polka show in here would go awesome. I would say
Maybe a Frankie Yankovic polka show.
On top of that, Eddie, there's Anita.
No, I mean
says
Weird Al Yankovic.
There's
No.
a large group of polka in the Villages. Jan says there's a Polish church in Bellevue that would probably buy it out.
Oh, Eddie, you are so in the
Yeah.
commode, man.
Just, you know,
Yeah, you might.
I
as well
hope
ju-
they legalize gummies by that
You better-
time.
you
I
better-
hope they legalize.
Better start selling
I
some
need
memorabilia.
more
You
persuasion
better
for
get
that
out your.
show.
You better get out your checkbook.
I can't
Eddie.
imagine 90 minutes of polka. I
Oh,
just can't even
Well,
imagine.
it's about the
Three
same.
notes, the same thing over and over
Yeah,
again.
it's just
I-
fast.
I was
Anyway.
thinking, Eddie, if you didn't want to be here, I would just replace you on lights. But I think to do better, I will be sure you work those.
Just don't pay him. Yeah, make sure he works all day, both
Yeah,
days.
both days.
Works a double.
Like 2 shows.
They do have.
And they want a 6-hour sound check with lighting cues.
No.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
There's a polka club in the Villages.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now.
There's a club for everything in the Villages.
Yeah.
There is a guy coming.
There's
with
probably
him.
a Guy Lombardo or club in the Villages.
All right, moving along, running out of time here, being crazy. If we get any more questions, Captain, let me know. Yes, sir.
I got one.
Yes, sir, come on.
Charlene says that she wants to know if you are doing polka to open for the polka show. And then
Lord.
she also wants to know if Dougie can play the accordion.
I wouldn't doubt that.
No, I wouldn't think Dougie could play the accordion, but I'll tell you, Chris probably could. It's a keyboard instrument more than it is it's not a string instrument.
I
Dougie,
want to say Chris said he could.
I bet he can.
Wow.
I can't. Boy, I don't know. We probably won't. I don't know what we do for that day. I know a couple polkas. I can sing the beer barrel polka, and I can play the Pennsylvania polka, and what else do I know? That Who Stole the Gishka? I know
So
that.
there's a lot of
What is
different
that?
churches here that would come to that just for that.
Yeah,
This
that-
lady has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see the Elton John tribute show when they came to the Villages last time?
No, is it the same guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I
he's
didn't. I
From
not.
Scotland. It's
Yeah.
going to blow your mind.
Yeah,
The
that's what I
best
heard.
tribute show I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've heard he's really good.
He's fabulous. All his costumes and everything came directly from Elton John.
Well,
And when Elton John did his farewell tour, he went to all these different venues. He wanted to put up screens like you have here.
yeah.
But when he first became popular, they weren't filming. So they hired this guy from Scotland, the tribute guy,
Yeah.
to go film his show,
Yep.
and they showed that in all Elton John's farewell tours.
Oh man.
Nobody ever knew it wasn't Elton John.
No kidding. It was.
He was fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Reba McEntire did that one time. She
Unlike
she
the
put a
polkas.
double out one
Yeah.
time, and
He
and
was great. You're gonna love it.
that'll be great. Well, that'll be. I don't know if Elton's still touring. I know
I think he called it quits.
Well, I said he was going to do a farewell tour, but it was going to be
yeah,
3
stretched
years.
out- yeah, many years.
So I don't know if they're still working or not. I see Kim Bullard's post every now and then. Well, that'll be awesome. Well, once again, yes, sir.
Here's an added confliction for Eddie.
Oh boy.
With Jimmy Sturr, sometimes travels with him. I think it's next door neighbor is a guy by the name of Chris Cafferty. Chris was the lead guitar player on Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah, there you go, Eddie. See?
So what do you think about that?
There's no comparison of Trans-Siberian to
No, he
polkas.
said, yeah, but well, those guys are.
That just
serious.
shows that Chris is diverse. He's willing to go from
Oh
Trans-Siberian.
yeah, a lot of
music
musicians
to-
are diverse. No, I'll give you that. There's a
polka.
lot of musicians, but he probably
will
needs
say
a break
that-
from that polka music.
Well,
is
I
what
will
he
say
needs.
this: the electric guitar not the acoustic, but the electric guitar in a polka is pretty irrelevant. It's more of a chunk, because there's not many lead rides or any solos and things like that. It's more of an accordion, clarinet, saxophone, trumpet band, not so much. But the acoustic guitar, if he's playing that, is a dominant rhythm thing in that band. So I'm sure he's probably playing acoustic because they don't have much electric guitar stuff. So, but I had a buddy that played in a band with me who's passed away now, but from Michigan, Dave Petrosky, who was a guitar player for the most part, and but for a long time played bass with one of those pretty popular around Michigan anyway, polka bands, and he loved it. He said it was great. I mean, because the music's, it's not depressing, I'll tell you that. You don't see people playing "Crying in Your Beer" songs at a polka. It's all up tempo, excited. Let's get drunk and act stupid kind of stuff. So I can't imagine you not liking that, Eddie. Anyway, I'm excited about that. I didn't know we were going to have a polka band.
Just to adjust this real quick,
Yes.
the Jimmy Sturr tickets will be on sale in the fall.
In the fall.
You can check our website and social media.
So it's him coming.
Yeah.
Jim-
And his orchestra.
Yeah, be big.
Yeah, well, yeah. Lots of people. Lots of people.
Yeah, that'll be a nightmare for me to advance, I'm sure. But so hopefully they come, because if they come with trumpets and saxophones and clarinets and stuff, y'all, that stuff's awesome, man. I mean, it is really awesome. So I'll probably show up to see that, just because to see what it is, and also to collect our money for all of us. So
I'm gonna get. I hate.
we're gonna
polka
split the pot.
T-shirt.
It's going to cost you $150 that day, Eddie. You're already screwed.
Eddie, this is not the first time he's been here. When I first bought the business, he was scheduled for the next 2 years.
Oh, he was here before?
Yeah, he's been here before.
Yeah, do
Now
you know how he did? Of course,
He did well, as I recall. People loved him. So
this place is so different from when you bought it, Roger. God bless you from
very
all,
true.
all the stuff you've
Yeah,
done.
and a lot of people have passed on
and still doing.
to listen to polka music.
No.
I don't think there's hardly any village 50-year-old, 60-year-old village people are going to listen
Eddie,
to polka
here's what
music.
we should do. Just get your checkbook out, write out a check for $150. 3 of us are going to split it. You can shut the hell up. How about that?
Oh, Lord.
About your polka stuff. Back to we only have a few minutes.
Yeah.
For some of you listening, how long you been here, Eddie?
Almost 10 years.
Yeah. And
yeah.
have you seen?
No polkas.
Have you seen the amazing change?
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
And you folks
Yeah.
from the villages, have you been here? Have you been coming here for a while? How long you been coming to? He's got a microphone. How long you been coming here?
4 years.
4.
Yeah.
Well, it's changed a lot in 4 years.
Yeah.
It has,
Yeah.
absolutely, and you're right about the village people, because when we first started coming, there were only a handful of people from the villages. Now everybody knows.
Yeah, well, and when we started this, I was something I said, man, there's so damn many people over there. And no disrespect to anybody, because everything takes a while to grow. When I first came here, I would say that it's probably wasn't everybody's cup of tea. This place started as somebody's idea, I suppose, to have a country music show. It never started anything like this, and it has evolved. But my credit and my point is for Roger and Heather, who have got what it was and embraced what it was. And I don't think they've ever lost that home kind of feeling, because it doesn't feel like corporate in here to me. It doesn't feel, it's pretty family oriented in here, and it's pretty friendly. You can just about, talk and do whatever you want to do in here. So they haven't lost that feel, but I think they've upgraded many of the things, the technical stuff, the sound, the lights, the music, the shows, and all of that. And I think that's what's appealing to the people, because, like I said, when I first started here, again, no disrespect to anybody, it was a little, I just sat over there on the side and played fiddle, and it was kind of hokey, but it was okay because I played fiddle and steel, and they played a lot of that kind of music. So as a musician, I was just kind of digging that. But it was never like this, and it was never like, like you said, all the people in the villages come here, and God bless all those people for coming here.
Well,
'cause,
you got the diversity too. You got the prior to that, when I first got here, it was pretty much all country music. It was and be able to add Simon and Garfunkel type stuff, Elton
Yeah.
John stuff, that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have happened 10 years ago when I was here.
No.
That's a good change.
That's all Roger and Heather. That
Yeah, yeah, no, I get
have
it,
done that.
and that's true. Heather's a lot involved in that, and Roger picking
acts that
all of
come in.
them except.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
But
Roger,
it is good diversity, and that's what keeps a lot of new people coming from the villages and a lot and outside. There's people. There was a show recently that people came from Orlando. Well, what was the place down there that we hadn't heard of?
Yeehaw Junction.
Yeehaw Junction.
Yeah.
They came all the way from Yeehaw Junction in Orlando. You know, a lot of people come. They know this place now, which is a great thing.
I think it's also getting a national step because there's folks all around the country. I saw on Facebook the other day people watching in Ireland and all that sort of stuff. So we're kind of getting a national feel of all this. Our time has run out. I'd like to invite all of you people that are here in the audience to stay after the show and join us for our meeting with the owner as we take applications for a new lighting director. And God bless all you folks that were watching. God bless all of y'all. Thank you for supporting the Orange Blossom Opry. We love you so much. God bless you, and God bless the USA. See y'all.